Hello. We're just going to wait for people to get in. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day. Be sure to say hi when you guys pop in. That way, I know you guys are in here. All right. We're just going to give everyone a couple minutes to get in here and see what we can go over with the Nancy Guthrie case. There's a lot going on, a lot of random stuff. Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is having a good evening. Happy Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. I feel like it's hard to keep up. Hello, Anna. Welcome. Hello, Peaky Blinder. How are you? Hello from Australia. How are you? All right. We'll give people a couple more minutes to hop in here. I know it takes YouTube time to like notify people of people being live. There's been lots of notifications turned off, all kinds of stuff. So we're hearing a lot about that. And actually, there's a lot of weird censorship stuff going on. So we'll give everybody time to pop in. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? All right. Hopefully everyone's doing well. The weather's all over the place, I think, for most of us. It's like cold, a little bit warmer, cold. Hello, Ireland, Netherlands. Oh my goodness, we have people from super far away today. That's awesome. Thank you guys for popping into the live and hanging out. Is everyone in the chat following the Nancy Guthrie case? I'm sure most of us are. It's kind of taken over the TV, I think, for a little while now. Other than like the Charlie Kirk stuff, I think Nancy Guthrie has been like the next crazy thing going on. Very bizarre. Very bizarre case, guys. Very bizarre circumstances. Still more questions than answers, I feel like. It's been very, very, very interesting. Again, we're just going to give a couple more minutes and let people pop in, and then we'll. Yeah, the latest distraction is right. It is a big distraction. And it's interesting because we're in our third week, so it's kind of crazy. We're in the third week, day 18, and there's still very little information that's come out, What is this? Our family doesn't have television, but we will turn off your broadcast and search around and see what is on TV, like you said. That's fine if you want to get your information from the news. I've tried to give tips, but you can't get a hold of a person. Oh boy. You may have to call. Can you call the sheriff's department? I actually have I saved information about if you have information. They say to call 1-800 call FBI. Sorry, guys. And I would just call the Pima County Sheriff's Office if you can. Keep calling until you get a hold of somebody. That's what I would do. Oh, you asked if we noticed what was occupying the news. Well, I mean, I don't watch mainstream media, but yeah, there's a lot of different things that have been on the news, but this seems to be the next biggest thing since Charlie Kirk as far as like what people are all concerned with. Let's see. I have a video of Nancy's neighbor talking about kidnapping several days before her kidnapping happening. Hmm. Well, Christy, you can send it to patriotichousewife@gmail.com if you do have a video, and we'll see what we can do with it if you want help. We can take a look at it. All right. So obviously we're entering week 3 with Nancy being gone. Um, there's no super big updates other than obviously the lab is saying that the forensics don't line up with anybody, that they've investigated. It's not Nancy's. They have no idea who that other DNA belongs to. Um, and they're looking into the Walmart backpack to see, who could have purchased that. Can they figure out? Oh, I thought I heard something fall, you guys. Sorry. Who could have possibly purchased the backpack, the ring, that's under the gloves. They're trying to see what the impression is. They're working on that to figure out what jewelry that is to see if that will help them identify somebody. They've collected, I believe it said at least 16 gloves from areas surrounding Nancy's house within like a couple miles. And so it is a little weird because, I was talking with Kristen about this and it's like, how many black gloves do you find like on the side of the road? Are investigators like investigating and they're dropping their gloves? They're not making sure they're still in their pockets or something, or what's with the black gloves? Because you don't see a ton of black gloves on the side of the road everywhere, so it's a little weird. But who knows? But they were saying areas up to 10 miles from the property. So I think they said like 16 gloves. They gave a detailed analysis of the doorbell footage, obviously released last Thursday. Gave us an idea of like 5'9" to 5'10" tall male suspect carrying a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. It's a Walmart brand. So we know that much so far on that front. We've seen SWAT conduct several raids and operations that end up being nothing. They end up releasing the people that were being questioned and that they do these raids on, and there's nothing to come from those. So that's, been interesting. Let's see. They've seized a gray Range Rover that was searched and towed from that Culver's parking lot in Tucson that we watched. That was on Friday night. That was located around 2 miles from Nancy's house. But I believe that the person that Range Rover belonged to, that they've been released. They're not being detained anymore. And I don't think they're a person of interest anymore. They were very cooperative. They did arrest a California man, Derek Kalella, I believe is how you say his name. And he was arrested and arraigned on Friday for allegedly sending fake ransom demands to the family via text and phone calls. We heard that they've had like 40,000 leads since releasing the tape recovered from Nancy's doorbell cam. So they're just running every viable lead down, they said. They increased the reward to $100,000 to hopefully get some information about Nancy. Also bring her home safely. What else has happened in the last couple days? Like I said, the ring that they're looking at for under the gloves to see what that imprint is, to figure out who, could they make that out to figure out who could possibly own that ring. It does seem like the person put on a lot of clothes, extra gloves. They were really trying to pad themselves up to make it hard to be able to identify, how skinny they are or whatever. So that's going to be difficult, I think. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. TMZ got a new letter today. Yeah, I don't know what to make of the TMZ stuff, like why they would send stuff into TMZ. That's been interesting for me. I'll look, let me see if I can find that to pull up 44 minutes ago. I'm going to pull this up. Give me 2 seconds. And then we can watch it together. And then I'll pull up a couple other things as well. But yeah, TMZ seems to be getting several different emails with different Bitcoin accounts and requests. It's been really interesting. So this is the latest from Fox News. So we'll go ahead and play that together.
So we've been tracking really the last 20 minutes, every angle that we can here for you is this investigation continues. But right now, we want to now go out to TMZ's Michael Babcock. We have been talking with you lately, Michael, and every day we're hoping, okay, this is going to be the day we get that big crack in the case there. Not yet, but you did at TMZ receive another note today.
Hey, Mike, thank you for having me. I feel like Groundhog Day almost at this point because it was Wednesday, it was Thursday, it was Friday, and then it was Monday. And then again, yesterday, we did, in fact, receive a note. I'm sorry, this morning did receive a note. And in this one, they are requesting an enormous amount of money, a very, very large sum of money to be paid in cryptocurrency, Mike, but a different cryptocurrency than Bitcoin, as had been standard in many of the other notes, or really in all of the other notes that we had previously received since Nancy Guthrie was taken. So you've got the big ask for a lot of money. You've also got some pretty dire consequences laid out in the note if these demands are not met, let's call it, Mike. And it's scary, scary stuff. As again, the FBI has this, they are investigating it. And I'm with you. I think every day, Mike, you hope that there's going to be a break in the case. There have been some times where things have happened where you say, okay, this is finally it. They've got a glove. They've identified some DNA here. We think we're going to get the identity of the captor. And then it just falls apart. And it feels like in many ways we're still at square one.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect case why investigators want to try to get an arrest within the first 48 hours because you see after that time, I mean, it's really hard to continue and get a tight grip as people can go anywhere.
I agree, Mike. And that is evidenced by the fact that they're now looking in Mexico. We did a story a little bit earlier today that the FBI agents have been in contact with their counterparts in Mexico when we're talking like federales, federal law enforcement in Mexico and other agencies as well. And they are trying to connect and just see if they've got any information. Now, there is some reason, at least, to believe that Mexico could potentially be a place where they were headed. Obviously, Tucson is close in proximity to Mexico, but in some of these letters that we got last week on Friday and on Monday, even the person on Monday says, I know what I saw 5 days ago south of the border. On Friday, they said, be prepared to go international. So clearly this person who has been contacting us saying they know who the captor is, they have been alluding to something happening in Mexico. But with all of that said, they have, Mike, looked at many, many Border Patrol cameras, and they have yielded no results, nothing that would indicate that Nancy was taken over the border.
Yeah, there's so many dead ends right now. And Michael, as these days continue to go on, we still see a lot of media attention, outside of Nancy Guthrie's home, local, national, really international, all there. But I got to ask you, when do you think this media buzz is sort of going to fade, unfortunately, and people are going to start packing up their bags and saying, if there's no news conferences happening, we're not going to stick around and just hope for a news release?
Right. I think that's a great point, Mike. And I remember, I think it must have been Saturday or Sunday, I was asking myself that question. I was wondering if the attention would be the same this week. And I think for the most part has, that there is still a lot of public interest in this case. But you're right, with a lack of press conferences, without official updates coming out, I do wonder if you're going to have outlets who are going to start calling their people back. And not that it won't be something that people keep an eye on anymore, but I don't know that it will be front and center as much as it has been for these last 18 days. And I think we're probably getting close to that point because there is just a lack of updates coming out of Tucson. We're not getting much. And in the absence of that, I think we're getting close to that point.
Yeah, truly. A lot of twists and turns, but not in the right direction so far. Michael, thanks so much for joining us. As always, we always appreciate it here on Live Now.
TurboTax locations are...
Okay, so that was the Fox News update that was just released. Now let's take a look and see what Brian Enton posted, because I haven't seen his post today. But I do know that they are doing polygraph tests, and I think there's 2 people that they're doing a polygraph on currently. So we'll see what that turns out to be about. I think I heard rather that it's people that they've been looking into for a while. So I'm not too sure. I'm not even seeing anything. Oh, okay. This is what I think you guys are talking about. This short. Hold on. I'm going to share the screen. Brian Enton posted this short. So I guess that's why I didn't even notice it was a short, not an actual like full length video. I'm used to seeing his full length videos.
Tests that have been used in the Nancy Guthrie case to clear people. Hey guys, all right, so something new that I've confirmed, there have been polygraph tests that have been used in the Nancy Guthrie case to clear people in the case. I just confirmed that. Polygraph tests, of course, are lie detector tests. They are not admissible in a court of law, so they don't stand up in court, but I know from other stories that I've covered and cases that I've covered, they're used pretty frequently by law enforcement behind the scenes. They're used by the FBI, and they can, if they want to clear someone, they can have them take a polygraph test and sort of, clear them that way. If they think that they had nothing to do with it, but they just want to make sure, they can have them take a polygraph test. And I am told that polygraph tests have been used in the Nancy Guthrie investigation and continue to be used. So that's the latest from I'm outside Nancy's house. And I'm trying to think if there's been any other updates. I told you guys about the Mexico situation. FBI is now talking to investigators in Mexico. So I'll let you guys know if anything else develops. All right, see you. Hey guys.
Okay, so that was Brian Enton's recent update, but that wasn't saying who was polygraphed today or who is currently being polygraphed at the Pima County Sheriff's Office. So I don't know. Maybe he'll do a longer form video on that. That's what I'm kind of thinking at some point. I will put on JLR Investigates here soon. He's doing like a live constantly on what's going on there because he's on the ground. So I keep checking that just to see if there's anything else. He did say there was a lot of media outside of the sheriff's office. So we'll see what comes of that. This was an article that was posted at about 5:50 tonight saying that they have not, accomplice not ruled out in Nancy Guthrie disappearance, Arizona sheriff said. Obviously, talking about what was seen on the doorbell camera, they're just not ruling out that, it wasn't just one person, which I don't really think it was just one person, especially considering if she was hurt and they had to carry her, you're not doing that with one person. So, it went into talking about the video recovered from Guthrie's Google Nest doorbell camera, which was shared by the FBI last week, is the only video that Google has been able to recover from the camera at Guthrie's home. According to Pima County Sheriff's Department, there are additional cameras from the property that engineers are still working through as they try to recover usable video. Investigators are hopeful that tech companies working on the videos will uncover more, according to the Sheriff's Department. A reward from 88 Crime tip line was increased on Thursday to $102,500 thanks to a $100,000 anonymous donation. The organization said for the information leading to the arrest of the person or persons involved in Guthrie's disappearance. That reward is in addition to the $100,000 reward that the FBI is offering. Authorities haven't named a suspect or a person of interest in this case and did not provide further information about a possible accomplice. The FBI described the suspect as seen in the doorbell camera footage as a male between 5'9", 10 inches tall with an average build. Today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie, her two siblings and their spouses were all cleared as suspects in the case, the Pima County Sheriff's Department announced Monday as the high-profile investigation entered its third week. Nano said the Guthrie family has cooperated with investigators. We really put them through the ringer. Nano said we not just interview them. We take their cars, we take their houses, we take their phones, all this stuff, and we're not taking it. They're giving it to us voluntarily. They have been 100% cooperative with us through everything we've asked. They are victims. They are not suspects. Nancy Guthrie was last seen on the night of January 31st when her son-in-law, Tommaso, dropped her off at her house after she spent the evening with him and her daughter, Annie Guthrie, at their home. Since Nancy's disappearance. Savannah Guthrie, Annie Guthrie, and their brother Cameron have appeared in videos pleading for their mother's return. Investigators were looking into genetic genealogy options to check for DNA matches with evidence collected in the case after a DNA profile from a set of gloves didn't produce a match in a national database maintained by the FBI. The sheriff's department said Tuesday the gloves were found about 2 miles away from Nancy's home. The DNA profile also didn't match with different DNA evidence collected at the home. Let's see. The sheriff's office said Thursday that biological evidence found at Nancy's home was being analyzed and DNA profiles were under lab analysis. Law enforcement sources told CBC News that investigators have been using a tracking device known as the signal sniffer in an effort to detect possible signals from Nancy's heart pacemaker, which showed a disconnect from her phone in the early morning hours of the night she went missing. CBS News has also learned the FBI is probing gun purchases in the Tucson area. According to the owner of a gun store nearby, an agent came in about a week or so ago and showed him several images with faces and names on them, and agents inquired about purchases in the last year. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but the sniffer signal, that is interesting that they're using with the helicopter to try to see if they can get a signal from her pacemaker. So let's say if the body is buried somewhere near the house, the thing with that is they have to be within, I think it's like 30 feet, typically like 10 to 30 feet of that pacemaker. So can you imagine using that helicopter with the software that they need and hovering, and doing like, let's say like, they grid out everything. That's a lot of tedious work. It's not easy work. And there's a ton of land out there. Obviously it's a ton of desert. And then you have like cactuses and all kinds of stuff in the way. So it's not an easy job. Let's see. Have you seen Pima County's reality show? It's called Desert Law and it's on A&E. I have not, Christy, but I will have to look it up. That's interesting. So, now, they say that, Nancy could be in Mexico. Anything's possible. I don't know. If they're trying to like insinuate this is the cartel, I don't think the cartel is going to keep an 84-year-old for 18 days and babysit her and take care of her. Not to mention the fact that, again, Nancy has, a lot of health issues. She's got high blood pressure. She's got heart problems. She's on medication that, it's urgent if she's without it. So, I don't know that I don't know. The cartel is not, I don't think they have the motive to want to do this. And not only that, if it's about money, there's significantly richer people to kidnap a family member than Savannah, of all people. So my opinion is I think that this is something personal to Savannah or her husband or the family, something along those lines. I've done videos on that about, the theories on that. So I just don't see people wanting to keep an 84-year-old. That's a lot of responsibility to take care and keep her in one piece, with all the health issues. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't see one person doing all this. I think this is definitely multiple people. Then 2 hours ago, Fox released border protocols automatically triggered in search for Nancy Guthrie, retired agents say. I'll bring this up so we could just watch this together and see this footage that the report they put out. Where's the volume?
Says the case is far from cold and that officers are following tips and leads every day. The DNA that they recovered from a glove found near Nancy Guthrie's home and another unknown DNA sample did not find a match in the national database. But there are other avenues for testing, we're told. Sheriff Nanos said this on Fox.
I have no clue. I know this. I know that I have a team that every minute of the day is out there working hard. Maybe as we sit here, someone's out there knocking on a door that will get us where we need to be. What I do know is we won't quit. We're going to keep after you. We will find you, and we'll find Nancy.
National correspondent Brian Yanis now outside Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson. Brian.
Harris, good afternoon. The fact of the matter is that at this hour, the doorbell video from in front of Nancy Guthrie's home remains the best evidence in this case, at least publicly. Now,
oh. All right, hold on, guys. I guess we have to wait for this ad to.
Sheriff Chris Nanos says they are working with Google to try to retrieve more video from various cameras around Nancy's home, but the prospects of retrieving that video seem bleak. The sheriff says Google told them they don't think they can retrieve any more video, but they're trying. The sheriff also says they're looking into whether the suspect was wearing some kind of ring under his glove, as they also work with Walmart, where they believe the suspect bought his clothes. They certainly believe he got that the book bag there. Now, local gun shop owners tell Fox the FBI is asking them about a specific short list of 40 people or so. Listen.
Was an FBI agent. He started asking me questions about if anybody had, well, he actually had given me a list, a paper list of people that had pictures and names on it. And he wanted to know if I could help him pull up in my system if any of these people have purchased a gun in the last year.
Now, as for the DNA of an unknown man found on a glove 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home and another DNA sample found inside the home do not match. They come from two different people who did not match with anyone inside of the FBI's national database. Now, investigators are relying on investigative genetic genealogy. What they're trying to do is track down relatives of the suspect, build a family tree, and work backwards to identify their guy.
They all share certain amounts of DNA with Mr. X. And the more they share, the closer they're related. The less they share, the more distant. So we look at the matches hoping, we get somebody close enough, like you share half and half. The match is going to be that guy's parent or child. 10%, he's probably a first cousin or an uncle.
The sheriff believes, Harris, that this was a targeted kidnapping. He thinks that Nancy Guthrie is still alive. He calls this a search and rescue mission, not a recovery mission. Harris.
So that's weird to me that they're saying they're so confident that she's still alive because we've had no proof of life. I mean, I hope she is, but I don't know how they could say with such confidence that she still is. It's very bizarre. I wanted to share this other interesting piece that Megyn Kelly did a video on, and she was talking about and I'm just going to pull up the X post because this was very interesting. Again, I have no idea how true this is. I'm sure Megyn Kelly vetted this, but just a very interesting other point to be made. It's interesting. So this just turned very strange. Savannah Guthrie wrote a kidnapping game involving her mom before her mom was kidnapped. Megyn Kelly just revisited audio from Savannah Guthrie's 2024 book where Savannah calmly describes a childhood kidnapping game her older cousin orchestrated, complete with secrecy, an early morning escape, and a fake call home saying, "Mom, cousin Terry kidnapped us." It's told warmly, almost nostalgically. Now, fast forward to today, Nancy Guthrie has been actually kidnapped. The audio existed before this happened. Same theme, same family, same city. And now Megyn is replaying it with entirely different context. At what point does a coincidence stop being a coincidence? You guys that have been on me forever know that I say, like, mathematically how many coincidences before it's mathematically impossible to not be a coincidence. So let's listen to this.
It was released in February of 2024, discussed a game she used to play as a kid with her cousin, and it was a kidnapping game involving Nancy. So we pulled the audio that Savannah did of her book. In it, you're going to hear her talk about her cousin Terry, who was, she said, like an aunt to her growing up. Terry's 20 years older than Savannah, so Terry would be 74 right now. But listen to this.
About once a year in the summertime, Cousin Terry orchestrated a kidnapping of my sister and me. It went down like this. The cousins would visit for a few days at our house in Tucson, and then, on the morning they were to leave, Terry would wake us up early, shushing us in the pre-dawn darkness as we made our escape. We would all pile into her rickety station wagon and head north, the sky streaking with bright oranges and pinks as the sun rose over the colorless desert landscape. Somewhere between Phoenix and Tucson, Terry would make a pit stop and let Annie and me call home at a payphone. "Mom, Cousin Terry kidnapped us to take us to her house." My mother would feign shock, protest how terribly she would miss us, then assure us she'd drive up to retrieve us in a few days.
So that's weird. It's stuff like that. And so there was this other post that I found about this, and it was on Instagram, and it was talking about, and I'll move this over so we can share that, because again, it's talking about this kidnapping game. And let me pull it up so that we can look at it together. So this is Savannah Guthrie's life is imitating her memoir, 2024, mocking kidnappings. And so it's who posted this? Eyes on the Right 4.0. Always question what you see on the world stage. In Guthrie's 2024 memoir, she mentions, as we just heard Megyn Kelly go over and share that audio, that as kids, she and her cousin staged mock kidnappings, even calling their mom from a payphone while she's played along. Really interesting. It can't get any stranger than that, is true when they said that. They love to distract you. I agree with this person. How is pretending to be kidnapped funny? It's not that it's funny. I just think as a kid, I don't know. I mean, we're all kids pretending to be kidnapped. No. But it is weird, and it does make you ask a lot of questions. So we shall see. Have you checked out the 85-year-old kidnapped man in Australia? It's been like 6 days now and still no ransom note. He has health problems also. They think the cartel may have took the wrong person or the wrong man. I have not heard about that. I'll have to look into it, but they kidnapped him in the middle of the night. I just wonder why the cartel would do that. And like I said, I mean, there has to be other reasons. I'll have to look into who that guy is and if there's any ties to anything bigger that's going on right now, like the E-Files or something along those lines, or the Clint, family, because it seems that when you have ties to that stuff, it's not totally, shocking if people go missing or bad things happen. That's just like a trend. So there's got to be other ties there. I don't think this is for money. Like I said, there's people that have way more money that if you were going to do this for money and you're going to risk getting caught, it better be for some mass amount of money. That's just my opinion. I don't think the cartel is going to do this for, the cartel's making money. So I don't know. Let's see. Thank you for the super chats. I'll read those at the end. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you. No one would take an 80-year-old person on life-saving medication and not take the medicine. My opinion. Yeah, Peaky Blinder, I don't think so either. Not if you're going to take somebody for ransom, because the whole point in ransom is you want to get paid. So you're going to keep that person in good condition. You're going to be able to provide proof of life because your goal is to give that person back as soon as possible after you get your money. And this entire time, they've gotten no proof of life. So, and the TMZ stuff, why are they sending it to TMZ? Why would you not contact the family you want the money from? I don't know. That's weird to me. Why even involve TMZ? It's weird. And wouldn't you just want to extort the family for the money and be done? Typically, I don't know. There's a lot of weird things there. So I looked up the polygraphs because I was trying to figure out who the names are that were being polygraphed a little while ago, but I don't think they've released any of the names that were being done today, as far as I know yet. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm just seeing if they updated it. They just said that the polygraphs were being conducted today. Okay. So we might not know the names of the people today until, I guess, after they're cleared, is my guess. Yeah. There's no names yet. So we'll have to wait. We'll take this down and we're going to share JLR's live coverage because he's there, boots on the ground in Arizona. And so it probably would be good to pull his live up and just see what's actively going on right now there. So I'll pull that up just so we can kind of like see what's happening there. I know he was at the sheriff's office. He said that there was a lot of media there. And then I think I saw he was leaving. So let's just see what the deal is now, like what's new.
You want me to back, but look, all the media is out here.
So I heard that too, you guys, about there's this rumor that they were going to get rid of Nancy. They were going to get rid of Savannah. And so this is like a publicity stunt to like basically have, them not get rid of Savannah and keep her on the show, whatever. And they did say that she was gone and viewership went up. And so then this came about, but there was rumor that I think they were going to get rid of her before that. And so that was essentially why this is being pulled or whatever. So I don't know how true that is, but let's go back to JLR and let's see what he's got going on or what's going on.
Let's go check out the
because he's actively there right now.
While we wait.
I do agree with you guys that, this could be, an accident and the kidnapping was staged to cover it up. That's totally possible. I also think, what if they were taking her for ransom and something happened? She fell, she cut herself, and then she ends up dying. And so, they at least have the body and they're like going to just try to get ransom out of it. And that's why they can't provide proof of life. There's a lot of things about robbery gone bad. All those things are all possible. Well, let's see. So he's outside of the sheriff's office right now. So I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of stuff being released yet as far as who they have. Let's see. Someone's saying, per Brian Enton, there's a new suspect that is being detained. So let me see if I can verify that. Well, we're live because when I checked his page, I didn't see anything. So I'm just going to also Google search this and see if there's anything about a new suspect from the news, which I'm not seeing anything. All right, so let's go back to Brian Enton and see if there's anything that we're missing, because it's totally possible he might have did another short or something, but we'll just make sure there's no new video or something really quick. Make sure there's no short. Nope, I don't see anything. So, I wonder where Brian Enton put that then, like where he posted that information. So, yeah, it's not. I'm not seeing anything.
Not here for a
Brian
polygraph,
Enton.
are you? You here for a polygraph? You taking a polygraph? Oh, okay. There's some people here supposed to come for polygraphs, so I'm just asking.
Who's going to admit that? Is what I'm thinking.
Would you give a polygraph if they asked you for a polygraph? I wouldn't. I'd get a lawyer. They're not reliable, right? I'd get a lawyer.
Yeah, Brian Enton doesn't even have anything new posted on his I checked his Instagram just to see if there was anything there that we're missing, but there's nothing updated. People are saying in his chat that someone is detained. So I don't know. I wonder. I wonder who it is.
You here for the Guthrie case?
This is
Totally different.
really weird, guys. It's one of the weirdest cases ever.
Who are you? Who are you? Are you a neighbor? Do you know her? Who are you? You look familiar. I seen you on TV.
Yes,
What's your name?
I'm Betsy Smith.
Hi, Betsy Smith, JLR.
Spokesman for the National Police Association.
National Police
Oh, I know
Association.
who you are.
Yeah, well, see,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
you got 33,000 people.
Oh,
Yeah, you
a
look
neighbor.
like you're on TV. You know, like
Yeah.
you been what? You're speaking on Fox News or what? What's going on?
I do Fox and Newsmax
Fox.
and News Nation.
Okay,
I
people are
do
now
live
saying
here.
Brian
You do
Enton
live here.
didn't say that there is a
Up north.
So just 30 seconds.
a person
Can you just-
detained. So
what's your
there's just
what's
a
your
lot of
thoughts? What do you think
information out
happened
there
here?
that or misinformation out there, unfortunately.
And I was a cop for 29 years. I can't tell you.
But this is a neighbor he's
I mean,
supposed to
no,
be
I
talking
mean,
You don't
to.
know.
yeah, I can't
You
He's
tell
don't
been
know.
boots on the ground
don't know.
all week, guys.
Yeah.
Well,
So
good luck with your interview.
Yeah.
Take care. Thank you.
So he's recognizing neighbors and people that have been coming out there and talking to him all week and talking to other media and so on.
Just giving an interview.
So it doesn't seem that there's anything happening as far as any major movement right now. And obviously, I know it takes time to investigate, but I
Time to
can't
pack-
believe
keep
that
it
there's
cool.
no.
Keep it cute. Says time to pack up and head home. It's clearly becoming a cold case because authorities botched the investigation. Unless folks are going to volunteer.
Exactly
into
what I
a
was
search
about to
party.
say. That's funny. I was about to say, how long are people going to stand out here? And I'm going to pause this. How long are people going to stand out here and do this? And media and independent journalists ask questions and all these different things when the investigation from day one was very much botched, similar to the CK case, botched completely. You know, they never, taped off the crime scene. There's pizza deliveries. There were people going up to the doorstep taking pictures and videos and all this stuff. So there was just a lot of contamination to begin with. How long was the shirt on the rock sitting out there? You got black gloves everywhere magically. Like, how many of you guys have seen a ton of black gloves on the side of the road where you live? Probably not many. Yeah, there's trash and there's other things, but it's not like there's just a bunch of black gloves on the side of the road. Um, Interesting. She had a doorbell camera, but she didn't have any service tied to it. She was only using it to look at animal life or wildlife, which is weird. I don't know. Barney Fife is running the investigation. It's just a bad investigation from the beginning. I mean, and we've seen it with the CK case. It's not like, and it doesn't help that, the sheriff does not want to give press conferences. And I think it's because he doesn't want to be criticized. They've made a lot of mistakes and he don't want to hear it. The problem is that there's how many people are going to stay with this case and keep looking into it and try to find this lady when he's not giving press conferences. And there's just no movement. And I understand keeping some stuff close to the chest because you're doing an investigation. You want to be able to arrest somebody, but this is like way too slow, it's just carrying on and there's just really nothing. I honestly think we might have done better and I don't even think we've made it anywhere really in the Charlie Kirk case. Well, we have. It's just, mainstream news isn't picking up all the holes in the investigation, the craziness of Erica Kirk and Turning Point. But there's nothing here. It's just I've never seen anything like it where day in and day out. It's just like the same, maybe a smidgen more. What we found out there's DNA that wasn't Nancy's or the family's, but it has no match to anybody, that they would be looking into being responsible for this. It's weird. It's very weird. Makes you well, we all hope that nothing happens to us and our family, right? But I mean, with the way they investigate things nowadays, it looks like no one's going to be found. And we have all the technology in the world. Technology's only gotten better. How could we be this far off? It's just, I have a lot of questions about that. So you guys let me know in the chat where you're at. I'm curious how long this is going to go. It's tumbleweeds and crickets. Exactly. It is. It is. And yeah, I don't know. There's something weird about it. And would I be surprised if it's all a hoax? No. A distraction? No. I hope not, but this is someone's mother, So, but nothing would surprise me anymore. After everything we've been through with Charlie Kirk, nothing would surprise me anymore. So, let's see if there's anything we've missed here. I don't think anyone's going to be like, yeah, I'm here for a polygraph to possibly be, you know what I mean? A suspect in this case. I don't think anyone is going to be doing that and telling him that. So, there's been a lot of people that are out there that have stayed out in front of Nancy's house. They've been standing outside of Annie's house. Interesting that the family has now totally been cleared. So I wonder how many people are sitting outside of their houses anymore. The police were in and out of Annie's house constantly. I really was like fully prepared for like this to be like a family situation gone south or something. So I was really surprised. I feel bad saying that. Like, I would never want anyone to accuse, I would never want to accuse someone's kids, but I mean, something's not right here. And it just screams someone that knew her. To me, it just feels like someone had to know her in the house and a little bit of the layout. I mean, it's pitch black out there. There's a light ordinance, or what do they call it? It is a light ordinance, but you can't use lights. So I'm going to mute this for a second because with the rules about the lights, the reason they have that is because there's stargazers out there. And so they don't want to disrupt that. And they openly admitted that they didn't bring lights out to the investigation because they didn't want to, break the law about the light ordinance and the light rules. If someone is missing, okay, if anyone is missing, those laws should be null and void when it comes to looking for a person. The fact that they were like, oh, we have to obey this, no lights because there might be some stargazers out here. Well, they're going to have to get over their stargazing for a little while. Like, that is wild. I've never heard of such things. And then they were saying, oh, well, that basically the city, isn't it the city? I think the city can sue you if you break that rule. Are you kidding me? It's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. Oh, the stargazers can't violate their rights to look at the stars. But, this 84-year-old woman, I mean, we're so confident that we're going to figure out what happened to her. We're so confident she's alive. We have no idea what's going on. We have no idea who has her. We have no DNA. We have no nothing. No clue what's going on here, but we know she's alive. She's out there. She's fine. It's all weird. You know what I mean? It's all weird. Lionel from Lionel Nation does not trust Savannah Guthrie. Yeah, I think a lot of people have questions about that. And I did hear the rumors about her being, essentially let go. And so then this case came about, and then you hear about the kidnapping theory from, her and her cousin doing these kidnapping games. I wasn't playing kidnapping games when I was younger. Being kidnapped is scary. Who would want to play a kidnapping game? Let's see. I agree, Nicole. The risk benefit ratio doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I mean, when there's a missing person, I think everyone in that neighborhood or anybody there to stargaze would understand why the light ordinance needs to be broken. I don't think anybody would have been mad about that. Clue in Savannah's book and Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, we already went over her book and we went over the kidnapping game. So that was very interesting. Very, very interesting, very bizarre. Not normal in my opinion, but everyone has their thing, I guess. To each their own. She repeated the same line from Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. There's a lot of weird things about this whole entire thing. And then there was like these rumors about the brother-in-law. That Tommaso and Annie were asking the mom for money. Supposedly she told them no. So there were all these rumors of like, they were also in the works of trying to have the power of attorney and get Annie or Nancy to sign over, where they would have control. There's all these different rumors going. So, that I know that they were saying too, that Annie had not worked. And so financially they weren't in the best place. So honestly, my brain was, I guess, in that area of this has to be, or could be, or probably is an inside job from the family. So watch Nancy show up like Sherry Pompini. Yeah. It would be so crazy if she just waltzed out of nowhere. I think there'd be so many pissed off people, by the way. And I hate to even say that, but if she just waltzed out of nowhere and would be like, I'm back, guys. Like, thank God I'm alive. It's okay. I would lose my mind. And I think so would half of America. That ain't going to go over well. It's kind of like just as bad as, how the rumors are about like, oh, Charlie Kirk is still alive. If Charlie were to waltz out of nowhere and be found to be alive, it would not be good. He might as well probably be dead because nobody is going to say, oh, okay, we understand why you had to do that. No big deal. Like, you put everybody through the ringer. Candace Owens is going to have an aneurysm if that was the case. She's done called out 1,000,001. Well, I mean, there's, honestly, at this point, it's not even just about Charlie. There's a ton of fraud. There's so much that's come out of the Charlie Kirk stuff that that in itself is wild. But there's a lot of crazy stuff. So yeah, sorry guys. I was trying to see because one of my friends was texting me. I want to make sure it wasn't anything that I was missing about the update in this. Hello, welcome in. For anyone that's just popping into the live, I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday. We're almost to the weekend. Time is flying by, in my opinion. Or even more shocking, Nancy and Charlie come back together. That would have people, oh, geez. I mean, I don't even know. I might not even make it onto a live to talk about that if that happened, because I would be passed out on the floor, I think. Yeah. And I haven't watched like a lot of videos. You know, lately I've been staying away from other people's videos a little bit. I've been trying to like put my own stuff together in the background, and I've heard a lot of people saying there's like more convincing information allegedly that Charlie Kirk is still alive. I don't think he really is, but you know, everyone has their opinions and that's okay. But that just would be, I don't know. I don't think it will be good if he's found out to be alive. I don't think people are going to, you know, accept that and just smile about it and be like, okay, no problem. I think that would be a whole mess. Cold out, 59 degrees. SoCal winter, laugh out loud. Yeah, 59 degrees is nice. I don't think that's cold. Well, I'm used to Chicago. My homegirl from Lincoln Park. Yeah, I used to stay in Lincoln Park in college. Lincoln Park's a really nice area. Very nice area. This is nothing but a distraction. Yep, I'm sure it probably is because it doesn't make sense.
Go back up towards Nancy's.
Jesse on Fire has this series. Yeah, he's talked a lot about Charlie still being alive.
Hey, can you grab the tripod? Thank you.
So he's still outside the. Okay, he left. So JLR left the police station.
He's coming back.
So let's see what is going on now. Brett, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, they certainly, in my opinion, didn't do anything to help him. So
we're on our way back to Nancy's home.
Okay, he's back at Nancy's. I'll fast forward it because I paused to talk. Sorry, guys. But JLR does have, he's been out there day in and day out. There's a couple other creators too that have been out there that flew out there to cover it. I'm just thinking as an independent journalist with no updates, no press conferences, like how long are you going to stay out there? Thank goodness they've only had like one day. I think it was like 1.5 days of like rain to where, you know, I heard Arizona does get more rain than that usually. So that's, I guess, been good that the rain hasn't been bad as far as them like, you know, being out there and posted up outside. But imagine the heat. Like I'm in Florida. I can't, you know, obviously if something happened here in Florida, I would drive to wherever and I would be doing the same thing to cover anything true crime that had anything crazy going on. I would be all over it because I love this stuff. But, oh man, if it was like the summer or something, you'd be dying. You know what I mean? Arizona is hot. Hot. It makes Florida look easy breezy. So I can't imagine. At least we're, you know, cooler time of year at least, you know, especially in the mornings. That's good for them. So real quick, tomorrow I'm going to do another live. Tomorrow's live is going to be on Charlie Kirk stuff. And we're going to kind of go over a bunch of different things that have come out and so on and so forth. So that'll be nice. I wanted to separate the lives out of the topics I'm talking about just because I know that there's a lot of people here for Charlie. There's people here for Annie or Nancy. There's people that are here for other things. And so I just thought it was good to maybe separate them out rather than going from like topic to topic. It's easier for people to pick what they want to listen to and not have to deal with the other stuff. So tomorrow I will be going live and we'll talk about all the different things that are coming out with the Charlie Kirk case, Erica, TPUSA, all the things. I have seen the video of Graham Allen. For those of you that have been with my channel for a long time, you know Graham Allen annoys the crap out of me, always has. So he did an hour and a half video about Candace. So I'm going to do a whole video on that with my feedback and commentary, because he is next level unhinged. And if he thought he was doing himself favors, he's not. He never was, but he can't help himself. I mean, he's been doing overtime on Candace since Rob McCoy posted, about Candace asking questions and so on and so forth. So I've got a lot of good stuff to go over with that for you guys, because that in itself deserves its own whole other thing. So yeah. So I will be covering the Charlie Kirk stuff, and I'll just be trying to do lives on specific topics. And I just think it'll be easier rather than all the back and forth and being all over for everybody. 117 degrees. I spend half my time in Arizona. A lot of camping up in Prescott. Okay. Yeah, I have friends that used to live in Arizona, and it's crazy hot. That's a good idea. I'm glad you guys like that. Hi, Marty. How are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. Good move, Nicole. Will help by staying on topic, maybe. It's okay. I don't mind, bouncing around topics. I just thought it was easier and better for you guys, as far as, there are people who don't care to hear about this. There are people who don't want to necessarily talk about other things, that literally just want to hear about Charlie Kirk stuff, and that's it. Hopefully my channel will continue to grow based on other topics, because eventually, Charlie Kirk it's not going to be a forever topic. We hope we're going to get justice for Charlie, and we'll, there'll be other things. So, I appreciate you guys. It doesn't seem that there's much movement with anybody that they did the, what do you call it? Lie detector tests on, polygraphs. Today, I don't know that we'll have answers. The other day I was going to go live because the trail was crazy hot and we thought we were going to have some kind of answers, and then nothing came of it. So, I don't know. It's hard to keep up with, are we getting somewhere? Oh, are we close, or, whatever, because then it's not anywhere near that. So, it's really hard to gauge what's going to happen, because when you think you're going to get answers, it's like, nope, we let them go. No big deal. We appreciate PH. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And I do see super chats. I'll read those here in a few minutes. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes on this. Anything else breaks information wise, I don't really think anything's gonna break. And then I'll read the super chats, and then we will wrap up today, and then I'll do the Charlie Kirk live tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll probably go live a little earlier. Guys, let me know in the chat how you feel about that. If like Eastern time is okay. And I'm going to have to start putting Eastern in my posts, because I keep forgetting to put Eastern, and I forget that you guys, not everyone lives in Eastern Standard Time. So I'm sorry. I have to get better about that. But tomorrow I'll probably do a live maybe around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'd like to start a little earlier if I can, but that's Eastern time, and I feel bad if it's early in other places. I just think starting a little earlier is probably helpful. But you guys let me know if does the time matter that much to you guys? Does an hour difference make a big difference for you guys? Hopefully it works out for everybody, but I always post my lives after, so you guys can always watch them if you miss them. So that's good too. Earlier is better for me. It's 12:40 a.m. where I am. Okay. See, so the sooner the better. So I'll probably do 5:30 Eastern time tomorrow, and we'll go over some Charlie Kirk stuff. I am going to record my take on Graham Allen and all that stuff. I have another video I'm putting together on Eric, on Andrew. So that'll be recorded tonight. I'm going to post a video I did on Elizabeth Lane, talking about Erica Kirk, which is spot on. So be sure to watch that. It'll be a good little quick video for you guys. It's entertaining what she had to say about Erica. So I'm super excited about that. What else? I'm going to be talking about a couple other cases that interested me. There's been a couple documentaries that have come out. And so I covered, a case that's pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys watched The Handsome Devil yet, the documentary that came out about this case. It happened in Florida. And so I'm going to be dropping that. What else? I already recorded that, so that's going to be dropping. You'll have the post tonight on Erica Kirk. What else? And as you guys know, I always appreciate if you guys can, support the channel or anything along those lines, but you guys don't have to. I know we're in a really rough spot in the economy. I know people are struggling, so I don't expect anyone to, have, a paid membership, but there are 3 different level memberships for the channel. Obviously, if you're able to do that and you like the content and you like the channel, you guys can, but don't ever feel like you have to. You can simply just like, comment, and share the content, and that helps the channel. And I appreciate that so much because I hope the channel continues to grow, and it means the world to me. And the channel is what it is because of you guys. So I appreciate you guys so much. And I know there's tons of creators out there to watch. And so I just feel blessed and grateful that you guys tune into mine. I did record another church message for anybody who has liked the few that I've done on that. That will be dropping. It's kind of a longer one like the first one I did. But it was a good message. It inspired me. And I know that those messages sometimes, well, not sometimes, they typically get to the people that need to hear them. And I love that it can help somebody. So again, if, Christian videos are not your thing, if you are just not in that place in your life where you're in your walk in faith, that's okay. You don't have to watch those videos. The whole channel is not that. But it is a part of my story. It is part of my testimony. And so I do, when I get the feeling to share those church messages, I do. Yeah, I appreciate that people enjoy those. And so that will be dropping. I'm trying to think of other things. That's funny. Government can catch another country leader, but can't find an old lady. Yeah, exactly. That is so true. It's really getting to be comical. At this point, I don't understand how we have no more answers than what we have right now. It's truly, I mean, you can't make this crap up. So, it doesn't look like JLR has anything new. Again, while we're talking, I'll just see if there is any update before we hop off of here. And that way, everyone can go about their evening, get some rest, hang out with your family. And we will do a live tomorrow going over all the Charlie Kirk stuff. Let's just see. I'll get one need to put this cash on a card soon. Great show. Thank you. Thank you so much. The love, bud. I appreciate you. You guys are awesome. And we have a really, really good community here. We've grown a really sweet, kind community. And I'm proud of that because the internet is a nasty place and it can be a great place and it can be not the kindest place. And so I'm glad that we have a really kind community here, a supportive community where people feel that they can come here and just, you know what I mean, Like they don't have to worry about, but I also block people that are really out of control. People aren't going to come in here and insult people and name call and swear. We're not doing that. We're adults. We don't have to agree, and I don't expect people to agree, and that's okay. It's just we need to be respectful. So, name calling, swearing, all that stuff, I just get rid of it. So it looks like as of 6:00, they were saying the FBI has reached out to the Mexican authorities. We kind of already knew that. We knew the reward doubled. And it was saying, let's see. Trying to see what they said about. The FBI has reached out to Mexican authorities to make them aware of Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Law enforcement sources told ABC News there is no evidence she was taken across the border, but it's an avenue investigators are exploring given the proximity to Tucson, Arizona. And so they'll keep us updated on that. They still don't know what the motive was, if it was just a kidnapping or a burglary gone wrong. They released that information just a little bit ago.
That's what the sheriff said. But
so it seems that they just truly there's no more information as of yet. Them just now saying that they've gotten in touch with the Mexican authorities. Why did we wait till today to do that? Being that it's only an hour from the border, I think people said. Wouldn't that have been done a while ago? That's interesting. Weird. So I don't know.
new hires, yes or no?
All right, everyone's hopping off here. It looks like everyone's
How people feel.
ready to enjoy their night. It is almost 8:00 Eastern time. And for some of you guys, it's really late. So I know we're all ready to just rest. So I appreciate you guys. Let me read through the super chats. Oh my gosh, they're all from Peaky Blinder. Thank you so much, Peaky Blinder, helping you build your channel. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Thank you. Truly appreciate that. Another super sticker. Thank you. And then I'm your number one fan besides your husband. Thank you so much. My husband really is my number one fan. And like I said, everything you guys do for the channel helps the channel, be able to grow and get better. Have better software so I can edit better and things like that. And so I know that right now still the channel has a lot of growing to do, but all that all that software is very pricey. Any of the equipment is even pricey. So all the licensing you want to get to, obviously cover your butt in case, lawsuits happen or things like that. A lot of the bigger channels now are able to pay, private investigators and researchers to do the research for them. And so, the people that you enjoy watching and that you truly like, that stuff does help. It helps them be able to provide better quality content and information. And obviously the more time that's freed up in certain places, it gives them the ability to do more. So, everything you guys do and give to the channel is helpful, and it will only help it get better. So, let's see. You're doing great. We appreciate your work. Thank you so much. I really am trying. I know I'm like slowing down a little bit, but I am trying to get back on it and get back on recording and having more of a regular schedule. It kind of got chaotic here for a little while. Quick update, because I know I was in a live the other day. My cousin is not doing well, guys, from the snowmobile accident. The EG was going to be read today to let us know what is going on with that. They did do a procedure last week to remove part of his skull, to alleviate some of the, pressure in the head, and there was brain bleeding and all kinds of stuff. So, unfortunately, that didn't really help anything. My cousin it's just not looking good. Today we were going to figure out, because the ventilator settings had to be turned up more. if it's, once we have the EEG and all that stuff back today, what can be done? Are we looking at, taking him off, or is there hope that because he does open his eyes, he's just not responsive. Could be sedation, it could be lots of other things, but unfortunately, it's looking like, last I heard, I don't think he's going to come out of this. So it's sad, very young, just turned 50. And it's an accident for a reason, and we've done a lot of praying, and continue to pray. I'm going to continue to pray. But it's all in God's will. It's in his hands, and I'll see what I find out this evening when I get off of here. But it's looking more or less like it's not going to be good. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you I know a lot of you guys were asking about him. So I just want to keep you guys in the loop about that. And yeah, so it's just been kind of, busy with that. I've been talking to the hospital and trying to help my grandma and them out because just stumbled in who was in an accident. My cousin was in a snowmobiling accident. So yeah, it was on the 9th. So we're 9 days in, and there's just been no improvement, even with them removing a portion of the skull. So there was still a lot of bleeding in the brain yesterday. So I'll have to talk to my grandma tonight and see, what else she found out today. But my grandma's, 80. She's not fully well. And so I've been trying to help her communicate with the hospital and all these different things because it's hard on her. And so I've been busy with that. So I'll keep you guys updated, but it's just the reality of it, is just, it's not good, and there really is no improvement. So, but anything's possible. Anything with God is possible. He could do, a 360 by tomorrow. I don't know. It just depends on what family decides to do. I'm not his power of attorney, so we have to wait to see what the decision is about all that stuff. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it. Yeah, just keep praying, guys, if you can. Just put Tim on your prayer list. It's sad. He's a good person. It was an accident. He was only going 15 miles an hour when it happened. So it's not like he was going fast. He wasn't like being reckless. It was not that. It was just one of those things where, you do something 200 times, and then the 201st time you just don't get lucky, essentially. So, it's, that's life, the ups and downs. So, again, I'm trying to make sure there's no updates that we missed or something. I don't think there is. I don't think JLR has anything. I don't think anything else has been added.
I have to put the glasses on because I have something happen with my eyes over time. When you look at things close, it's hard to read.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
It's hard to read.
Nope. I don't even think there's a press conference that's going to happen still. I think they're still not even going to do that. So, again, I'm just going to Google it really quick while we're on here, and then we're going to hop off. I just want to see if there's.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, today's kind of been a lull. There's not much been like crazy action.
Ooh, what's JLR saying?
What they're doing, but I think all the stuff behind the scenes now, the gentleman here was saying that law enforcement was here.
Yeah, so he was just saying that there's barely anything new going on. Basically, there's nothing new. Again, I don't see a press conference date or time. I thought we might have one today, but that's not happening. So, with that being said, we'll just hop off here. I will see you guys all tomorrow. We'll be going over the Charlie Kirk stuff, all the different updates, all the different information that's come out with that. There's plenty, so we'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow. And again, I will be posting videos. Let's see. I have been watching this obsessively. I'm in shock how botched this investigation went. Denton is doing the best coverage on this. Nice. Yeah, I don't know who Denton is. Yeah, I've been following it too. I think a lot of people are really following this a good amount and trying to keep up with it because everyone is confused and it has been extremely botched. I would not be surprised if some of the media starts pulling out. Greg, I think that we're going to see a lot of that because there's just no press updates, no press conference, no new information. It's not, I don't understand how we have nothing. I mean, by now we should have more than what we have, in my opinion. So I do think we're going to start seeing that, like, from day one to now, there's been, as you can see that road, there's a ton. I mean, there was a ton of media all down that street. And I think you're going to start to see it clear out, especially now that they cleared the family. I think when the family was still in the mix, people were really thinking other things and they were camped out in front of Annie's house and whoever. And when we had all these raids, it was really crazy. But now I think people are just starting to think like, okay, day 18, no answers, and people are just starting to, I think it's starting to look like, is this really what we're looking at? Because how could we have this much of nothing, unless there's something we don't know, we're not meant to know, and there's not some, I don't know, like it, is this really not a kidnapping? Is this like, for publicity for Savannah or something, Peaky Blinder, smash the like button, please. And thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Yes. You guys, if you can like, comment, share on the videos when they're posted, that would help a ton. It just lets YouTube know that you guys like the videos, you like that type of content, and it helps them push the content out. And so if you guys like the channel, it would be awesome if you guys can do that. I will say this before I go, always make sure that you're getting your alerts. They're turned on. Make sure that you're not unfollowed to channels because people are saying, oh, I'm unsubscribed again out of nowhere. So just always be checking that you're subscribed, because it seems to be like a trend with certain channels that are talking about certain things and saying certain things. And so unfortunately, I have to remind you to just make sure. This is not speculation, just facts. Tomas is a teacher, Annie a poet, and they bought a $675K home. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff with them, Greg. And I think a lot of people thought there was something there, and there were lots of rumors around that. And so when they got fully cleared after all of the action that was going on with them back and forth to their house, I think everybody thought that it was going to end up being something with them. So now that the family's cleared, the whole family, I don't even know where would you go from here? Because I don't want to say it's the only thing that people thought was possible, but I think it was a good chunk of us thought that that's what it was going to be. So we'll see if anything crazy happens, if anybody's arrested or anything crazy goes on, I'll go live right away. Tomorrow we will be live at 5:30 Eastern time. I'll go ahead and put that on my page today. So tomorrow everyone knows we're starting earlier and we'll be going over the Charlie Kirk stuff. So I could be wrong, but I have heard the FBI say the family is cleared. Yes, Greg, the family is cleared. They announced everyone in the family's cleared. They've been cooperative, voluntarily gave up phones, house, car, the whole nine. So supposedly they're all fully cleared. So we will see. We'll see what happens overnight. Maybe a miracle will happen overnight. You never know. Anything's possible. And I will see you guys all tomorrow evening for the live going over Charlie Kirk. And I hope you guys have the best night. Be safe. Be well. I'm praying for everybody. And I appreciate all of you. I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks, guys.